Hey Mod Runners, welcome back for another episode of Mod Run Man. Today we're going to be talking about how to train your dragon to Hiccup's wings. I have to say that I have the wings, I have the dorsal fin, I have it completed, but I'm not super happy with it. The work that I did, I'm happy with the work I did, but I'm still not 100%. I might redo the wings completely using a different material. But I will show you how I got this done, and you can kind of make your own decision on how you want to go about doing it. First off, one of the most difficult things to figure out was the zipper, how the wings slide up and down. You can see here, you've already seen my tunic before. This piece here is velcroed and stitched onto the tunic. So I wanted to be able to take this on and off. So these velcro onto the pants to hold it in place, and they also tie in down below using this lacing here. They tie in down below and they run up the zipper. The zipper is got a couple of different components on it. It's got the base leather, and then it's got another piece stitched on top of that, all just stitched, and then it's got a slice down the middle. And what I did to figure out how to put the slice in the middle was I actually used, and I'll take them out, buttons, believe it or not. Large, about 3/4 of an inch button, and you make sure that when you put your sizings on this, that you have enough to be able to fit in the size button you want to use. And then it's got a wire that's wrapped around the inside of the button. The button is flat here, and then these guys slide in between the two cut pieces, and I'll get this guy in there. A little tricky. And that way they slide up and down. Originally I wanted to be able to put my my arms in the straps and just rip them right up. It's movie magic, folks, because I can't figure out on how to actually get it going so that it opens without pulling out. So when I do open up the wings, I open them up and I open them through the straps, and then I slide them up the zipper here very carefully so they don't pull out. And as you can see here, it's all sized. This was actually parachute material. The same, I went to a local surplus store and got some parachute material and dyed it black. And then the black actually ended up a little bit more blue, so I used some of my black leather stain to kind of make it even darker. It wants to fray, it wants to come apart, which is why I'm not super happy with it. When I first made the dorsal fin, I used the same material. I spent about 6 hours sewing it together, and then the next morning as I started putting the prongs in there, it started falling apart, and I was really frustrated. So we'll talk about the dorsal fin in a minute. So the zipper, 2 pieces, leather piece and then another leather piece on top, all stitched together, and then with a nice sharp knife, slice the middle very, very carefully, little bit by little bit, so not to damage the under leather, and then using the buttons to get those in place. And then just wrapped around with the metal. I have a little metal wire and wrapped around, and then I used a couple of eyelets, fabric eyelets, as well as leather grommet back pieces so that it would hold in place so that it doesn't pull out. The straps wrap around the leg. As you can see, this, when it's all tucked away, wraps around the leg, and using a button hook attaching. Once again, movie magic. To be able to put your arms through this and just pull on it doesn't work. You actually have to pull on the back piece for it to want to separate easily. And I might be able to figure out another way of doing this later on, but this is what I have got going on. The hole's large enough because it wants to separate. If you make it so that it comes off easily, it comes off too easily when you're walking, and then it flips and flops around. So very frustrating with the wings. But as you can see there, they have the loops around, and the way it works, and if you watch him in the movie, he actually, when he pulls it out and he's got his arms through here, he's gliding through the air, and then when he does it, he actually undoes the button again so that it's one piece. So the button is actually permanently attached to the pieces here with the eyelets, and then the one piece attaches down here, and then the other piece attaches down here. What I originally thought I would do is, as you can see here, this piece I thought if I made a little bit more padded and then put this piece on here, it was just soft enough for me to just pull on it and yank on it and it would fall off. It really doesn't work like that. So what I'm ending up doing is I will end up remaking these guys here, and I will just make them so that they stay on nice and secure, this piece, and then I might end up doing this as an extra so it doesn't open up. I found that when I'm walking around in conventions, I'm not doing the wings very often. I might do them for a special occasion, open them all up, and then do the wings for a couple of pictures, and then tuck them away and walking around without the wings up. So now let's talk about the dorsal fin. The dorsal fin, like I said, was originally made out of this parachute material, and then it fell apart, so then I ended up using suede. The same liner that I used for the inside of the helmet, I stitched two pieces together, and I think it looks a lot nicer, which is why I think I'm going to end up doing suede with the wings as well. There's two rods in here. Okay, I don't have it mechanically working. Maybe someday I'll figure out exactly how to do it automatically. But for right now, everything is all done. When I want to raise the dorsal fin, I raise it. I take it out of the pocket here, and this is just a piece of leather together, stitched. This does separate. I use the same type of button hooks that Hiccup uses in the picture, so this can separate. But I actually have it laced and tied in place so it doesn't swing around on me. I found that that was a little bit more secure, and then when I want to take it off completely and store it, I can take it off and just undo the lacing. So back to the dorsal fin, the two pieces here, and then this piece I have tucked in through this piece here, and then I have it got a spot where it loops in here in the back on the underside, if I can find it there. And then that kind of holds it in place. And then once I'm wearing it, I have a friend take the metal pieces and just kind of inch their way across one by one, because they do stick out in the picture. And that's the dorsal fin. I found that as I'm walking around a convention, this piece wants to fall out very easily and then it just collapses. So I'll reinforce this at a future date so that I can open this up and leave it up. But the downside that I found when walking around with the dorsal fin is people ran into me, especially at a crowded convention like Comic-Con. It was constantly people were bumping into me, and then this would fall and then these pieces would fall right out. So I was constantly having to fix them. So I found that actually raising the dorsal fin was not something that I would do on a regular basis. Maybe eventually if I can get it working on a mechanical version where it just opens up and then winds like Hiccup does in the movie. But for right now, what I generally just do is I end up tucking everything away, pull all the pieces back down, stick them in there, and then I tuck them into the pockets. And then I use a couple of pieces of thread to just hold the dorsal fin together. And that's Hiccup's wings. I hope it was helpful. There's another great YouTuber out there that I got his idea in terms of, I originally tried doing it wet molding and I didn't find it, so doing the double layer, and that is the Horrendous Costumes Hiccups. Great job. I haven't seen his finished product or how he does the actual zipper, but doing the double layer I thought was a good idea, and it seems to work. Like I said, I found buttons to tend to hold it in place fairly easily. Once again, not perfect. They do want to pull out, so if you pull on them too hard, they will pull out. So I don't know how Hiccup does it and actually flies. Maybe he's got some other special dragon magic going on there. But those are the wings. They attach to the straps, and then that clips and wraps around. Make sure that when you're doing this, you leave a space to not stitch it onto the actual under tunic, because the straps go underneath this zipper. So if you stitch it all the way, you're going to end up having to cut your stitches. So make sure that you stitch it and leave spaces. If you go back to one of my first videos, you'll see the where I put the duct tape for where the straps were eventually going to be going on there. And that is his wings. I hope the videos are helpful for you. Please subscribe. Please let me know that you like the videos. Please click on the ads and please share the videos with all of your friends. We're winding down. This was a year project, so come the end of the year, I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more videos, if I'm going to be doing it in 2015. So my decision on whether I'm going to be making more videos is really going to be dependent upon your liking of the videos and your sharing of the videos. If there's a lot of people watching the videos and wanting me to do more, then I'll do more. Maybe I'll start a new project, a new costume in 2015, but I'm not sure yet. So I hope that you have a great weekend. Make your costumes, go scuba diving, go take a bunch of pictures. Whatever it is that gets you excited, whatever it is, find your passion.